for God Living TV, where you become the woman that God has designed you to be. Today we have an amazing guest, a good friend of mine that I just got to meet, and she's coming all the way from Hollywood and going to the slums of South Africa. Please welcome Dayana Madrigal.
Hi guys, it's such an honor to be here today. Thank you so much for having me. I'm really excited to share with you guys just my story and about South Africa and just the heart of it.
I am super excited that you are here.
Thank you.
There's so many questions that I want to ask you, and let's just go ahead and get started. So Dayana, tell us, you came from Hollywood.
Yeah.
And we're here now in beautiful San Diego. But you're going to go to South Africa.
Correct.
So you're going to go as a missionary.
Yes, for 1 year. It's just like we have this heart to see people come back to life. South Africa is actually one of the most dangerous places in the world.
Okay.
It used to be ranked number 9, and now it's number 13. So we're getting better.
Okay.
But we just know that God's going to do more. And we're just excited to share God's love and see a difference, especially with the gang members and prostitutes and strippers.
So you're actually going to go into the slums of South Africa.
Correct, yes.
And so you're from Hollywood, actually.
Yes.
Okay.
Before coming to San Diego, I was living in Hollywood for 3 years, where I pursued a career in acting and TV and everything else.
Oh, that's cool.
And everything took off right away for me, and I ended up having my own TV show called Dayana Gray Show.
Wow,
yeah.
Good for you.
Yeah, so I was doing, everything was finally starting to take off, but I knew that I had a calling in my life from God, and I just knew that at that time it was in TV and God had something else for me. So I came to San Diego without knowing why, and God told me He brought me here to prepare me spiritually. I had no idea for what, but now that I'm headed to South Africa, I see why.
Wow. Yeah. So when you moved, how long ago was it from today that you moved from Hollywood to San Diego?
So that was 2 years and 8 months ago.
Okay.
Yeah.
And what prepared you to become a missionary? Because, I know you can't just from one day or another become a missionary, or can you? What did you have to do?
It's like from one day to another. I think God's so gracious to all of us that before sending us out, He'll prepare us in different ways.
Right.
I went through Impact 195, now known as Rock School of Ministry, and I was there for 1 year, which is where I truly believe that God began to build me up and start a foundation for me, a strong one where I could have community and learn how to serve, because I had no idea how to serve people. And also, right away when I moved to San Diego, I was given the opportunity to be a leader for a team called Creative Minds for God, where we focus on everything media.
Nice.
So we do media for, through YouTube. We used to be called Creative Minds for God. Now we're called Omni. And we just do videos for God. So
that's cool.
Being a leader in the beginning prepared me that people were watching what I was doing, and I had to set an example. So it was a beautiful thing to be able to be a part of, and then the school, joining the ministry school, and just having different opportunities to serve.
Wow. And for those of you that are watching, what Impact 195 is, and which is now the Rock School of Ministry, it is a discipleship school where you go for 1 year and you dedicate 1 year from 9 in the morning to 1 in the afternoon, or you could have the evening hours. I did the same thing.
Yeah.
And you go from Monday through Friday, and it's basically you go into this school and you come out like a Navy SEAL for God's army.
It's like when people tell me to describe it, all I can say is open heart surgery in the spirit.
Yeah. Wow, that is so cool. So I want to know how you found the Lord, because we, as a Christian, we all find Jesus in our own way.
Yes.
We're not all of a sudden born and we're like, I'm a Christian. How did you find that connection with the Lord?
Yeah. So I went to Hollywood, and everything was finally starting to take off. My TV show was actually, Mundo Fox wanted to pick it up, and everything was going great. And at that time, I was living with my ex, and he was getting ready to propose, and just so many things were going on. I finally had money, fame, the fame was beginning. I had everything I had dreamed of, but I just felt really dead inside. I understand what it means when people say dead bones, like you just feel like a zombie. So one day, this was 2 years, 9 months ago or 8 months ago, this girl came to have a meeting with me because she wanted a commercial in my show. And we were talking business, and then out of nowhere she started talking about her like faith, about like she brought God into the conversation about how every time she had faith, God would show up powerfully. And I knew God growing up, but I didn't really know him.
Right.
And nobody had ever explained to me what faith meant, to have actual faith, so that word didn't make any sense to me. Mm-hmm. So that day, the way she explained it finally clicked. So that day when I met up with her, I didn't say anything about her sharing anything. I just went home and I got on my knees, and I was very honest with God, and I just said, God, I'm a coward, and I like money, and I like fame and my boyfriend more than I like you. But I was like, if you're truly real, I need you to show me, and I need you to come rock my world. And if you do that, then I'm going to surrender it all and seek you and put you first. So it only took 2 weeks. God showed up in powerful ways. People on Facebook were messaging me about God and sending verses that truly were speaking to me. And the funny thing is, like, before that, whenever people would post Bible verses, I would delete them right away from my Facebook, because like Bible verses truly spoke to me and I did not want to be spoken to. So yeah, in 2 weeks, God just rocked my world. In 2 weeks, I gave up everything.
Wow.
And I gave up the TV show because my ex was the producer of it, and he financially supported me. So if I broke up with my boyfriend to seek God, then I had to give up all my money. Mm-hmm. So I ended up with nothing, and I just wanted to start fresh with God and like jump all in. So I didn't know anybody in San Diego, and I didn't know what San Diego would look like, but I decided to move here just because I just felt like I needed to be here, and I had no idea why, but now I know.
Wow, that's an amazing story.
Yeah.
Wow, I'm so glad that you had that courage, just to be like, okay,
Yeah.
I'm out of here.
Yeah.
So why South Africa?
Yeah.
How did that happen? How did you choose South Africa out of all these places? I mean, you could even choose where you're at now, but how did God call you to South Africa?
Yeah. So I always tell people when they ask me like, why be a missionary, why South Africa, like God knows so well that that's literally the last thing or not the one I would have chosen, because I just thought he would use me in a different way. But before graduating the ministry school, was it like a month before graduating, I got invited to go to South Africa by my team, Pete Witt, who's my leader. And at the time I didn't really have the money to go, and I had just started a job that I really liked at a rehab center. But God told me go, and every day I would make up excuses. I was like, God, I don't have the money. Like, I would make up excuses. I was like, I'm gonna lose my job and so many other things. And then finally, like 2 days before the deposit was due, God was like, is money truly the issue? Why you don't want to go? And I was like, well, yeah, duh, silly. And God was like, well, then go, I'm gonna pay for it. He literally said that, go, I'm gonna pay for it. But I didn't really have the deposit that was due. So I was like, okay, I'm just gonna be faithful and say yes to God, even though I don't have the deposit right now. So I was like, okay, God, I'm gonna go. And I right away went and told my leader, I was like, I just want you to know that you have my word, I'm going, even though I didn't know where the money was gonna come from. So I just posted on Facebook. I said, I didn't say I think I'm going, I said I'm going. And I was like, I'm going to South Africa, I'm gonna serve. And I explained what we were gonna do. And I was like, but I just need the deposit. So 1 hour after posting that, one of my friends, Laura Elfman, she sent me a text, and she was like, I just want you to know that God told me to pay for your deposit. Wow. And so the deposit came in an hour after I posted that, and then all the money came in. Like God, he just provided everything. I didn't pay a penny, not even to go. Like,
and how much was it? Like to go?
$3,000.
$3,000. Wow.
And he just provided.
See, don't have little faith. Believe that God has you.
Yes.
And he'll take you on this adventure, this ride.
So powerful. And so I was there, and I was like, God, I'm going to serve with my whole heart because you told me to come here. But a secret prayer in my heart was like, God, don't give me a heart for this place, because I do not want to come live like far away. I'm a Cali girl. I want to stay in California forever.
And how is it over there? Like how does the atmosphere look?
Okay, so you can definitely tell a difference in the atmosphere spiritually. It's way stronger. It's thick out there. But as far as living situation and everything, they have the slums and some horrible areas, but it's in so many ways similar to San Diego.
Okay, and then when you said spiritually that you could feel, for those that have never experienced, you know, feeling like the spiritual warfare, which is what it is.
Yeah.
Describe it for someone that doesn't know what that feels like.
Yeah. So one thing is, like, for example, you're around certain areas or certain people, you start feeling like nauseous, and it's like a thickening, like you can feel it all over your body. But then again, like, also God's presence is more powerful than what I have ever experienced. It's like you just feel like God's love and peace. It's like you just go through so much out there.
Wow.
And Africa is huge for witchcraft, so it has a lot to do with it. But wherever Satan tries to be strong, God is stronger. So it's just very exciting.
So how many people are you going to go with on this trip that's coming up?
I'm going with 4 people. Well, with me it's 4 and then a baby, so 5 in total.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And how long do you plan on being in South Africa?
So I'll be there for 1 year. But if God tells me to stay longer, I'm going to stay longer.
And what are you guys going to do when you're out there?
Okay, so we're working, well, the main purpose is to start a ministry school, just like the one we went through, just because we know how much it impacts you.
Right.
And we want to see gang stars, they're called gangsters, but we want to see former gang members join the school. There's a program out there where former gang members that went to prison changed their lives around and give their lives to God, and now they're called gang stars. So our hope is that they would be the ones to join the school so that they can go and spread the message of God to all the gang members. And we're not just doing that. We're also going to work with kids at orphanages and just serve like all communities, rich and poor, because there's a lot of that out there. And just give back however we can.
Oh, that's wonderful. I'm super excited for you. You know, I've always wanted to go to Africa. I tell my husband all the time.
I'll back her up in my suitcase.
I even have this vision of being there with women.
Yes.
And helping them.
Yeah.
You know, I just want to go out there, and one of my visions out there is to go out there and provide a bunch of sewing machines.
Oh, wow.
And allowing them to go out and make clothing and profit, you know?
Yes, like giving back.
And giving back and whatever it is. But that's something that I actually wrote in my journal probably like over a year ago. So I know it's one of the things that I'm going to get to one day. So maybe I'll just have to go to Africa.
I know.
South Africa.
Yes, you can join us. Our doors are open for you.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, so if someone wanted to come, because obviously you're going to be there for a whole year.
Yeah.
If someone wanted to say, you know what, I want to help you, I want to sponsor you, how do they do this? Is there a certain link? I mean, we'll add the link to this, but for those that are listening right now.
Yeah, so you can go to www.mogive.com/Dayana Madrigal. And then you can also find me on Facebook under Dayana Madrigal 77, but I'm sure you'll tag me on it. So yeah, that's how you help out, and everything you help out with will impact South Africa in great ways, because there's actually a neighborhood there called Salt River that God's just given me a big heart for, and it's people that live on the streets on burnt stuff because a building burned down. So they're just living in horrible conditions. So I'm like, God, like, show me a way to multiply this money, like, for them, where they can multiply it, whether we buy a bunch of chickens and start something. But I'm just praying to God that He would guide me and show me. And earlier you asked, like, why South Africa? Just God told me to go. And I just love God, and I'm saying yes to Him. I don't know what it's gonna look like, but I know that when God is in it, then it's just gonna be something beautiful. So I'm just surrender with my hands open, saying, here I am, God, use me however you want to use me. And I am going to a dangerous country, but
it is pretty dangerous out there. Okay.
But
how are your parents with that?
Oh my gosh, at first
that my parents would not agree, but you gotta do what God's telling you to.
They've just seen in these last 2 years and now, they've seen like a real transformation, and God's healed our relationship. So I think I think like they're just so grateful to God that maybe a part of them is saying, we surrender her, use her how you want to use her.
Praise the Lord.
So yeah, I'm just going because he said go, and also my heart's been growing humongously, like for South Africa, for the gangsters, you know, even the ones that are gang members right now, and I just have a big heart too for prostitutes and strippers. So
of course,
I know God's gonna use me with them. I can't say how, but it'll be exciting to come back and share with you guys.
Yes, and I want to see some video footage,
Yes,
and then we'll share it
definitely.
here with all of you guys here with All for God Living. Now, one more thing, I just want you to share anything that advice that you could give to a viewer who feels like, you know, obviously you're walking by faith.
Yeah.
For someone who's watching right now and they, you know, they're just having problems trusting God or even getting to know God or understanding who God is, what advice could you give them?
Yeah. So I would tell you that even when it doesn't make sense and you feel like you can't hear God or you don't feel his presence, to keep falling on your knees and seeking him with everything you have, because when you seek God and it's you're just saying like, God, here I am, broken, afraid, God just shows up in a powerful way, but you cannot give up. I always say it's like when, you know, it's like when you're trying to pursue someone or you want to get into a relationship, you're like, here I am. So with God, it's the same way. You just have to every day, God, here I am, and even when it doesn't make sense and he asks you to give up things or to do certain things, he knows why. Like, oh my gosh, I could share so many stories, but you guys can find me on Facebook and I'll share, but like, God is so powerful. And last night I was like meditating on God, and he was just showing me just his love. He was like, you cannot deny the fact that I am real and that I love you, because it's like he's given me this community, these people that just like are so amazing. Even this moment, like,
Yeah.
I can't deny God is real. I can't orchestrate this. I'm just like, oh my gosh, I'm like, just hear God, and he shows up, and he every day he's telling us, I love you, I love you, I love you. And don't be afraid to ask God, show me how much you love me. Even if you have to do it every day, he loves to tell us how much he loves us.
Yes, he does. Well, I just want to thank you for coming. Thank you very much. And thank you as well for tuning in. And definitely, if God has put it in your heart to want to sponsor Dayana, definitely do reach out to her. And we will go ahead and put the information here so you could go ahead and sponsor her while she's in South Africa. And definitely keep her in your prayers. So thank you again for watching All for God Living. Bye now.
God bless.